Good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Treasure Coast Solutions every Wednesday from 9 to 10 o'clock. We kind of talk about things that are going on in the community. Sometimes it's just general things that are taking place, maybe nationwide, statewide, or in different aspects of things happening financially around the world and around the United States and in the state of Florida and in Stewart. But also, typically this Wednesday, we would be doing our Community Solutions program, which is hosted with United Way, where we talk about some of the things that are going on with the nonprofit community. And normally we were going to be talking about white doves today, but they got a shipment in, and so unfortunately, they couldn't make it for white doves today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on with white doves in terms of just general, some of the experience on it, and also a little bit about some of the things that are happening around with some of our other community partners and some of the things that are taking place, some of the activities that are taking place. But I was going to, and then we'll kind of talk about some other general things here. And if you've got something that's going on, you want to let us know from a nonprofit standpoint, 220 978 9788. What's 220 WSTU
220 9788
978. I almost gave out my number. I was giving it 9788. So but 220 WSTU, that's the easiest way to remember it. That's the easiest way to do it.
That's it.
Although I guess there are now phones that don't have those little letters on them anymore. So there are people that have them and they don't have it. But most cell phones, I think you can still figure it out. So anyway, if you've got something going on and some community activity you want to let us know about, we certainly would like to hear that, and we'll get it out on the air. Speaking of white doves, as many of you know, white doves is a project that's been going on for over 30 years here in the area, and United Way has been working with the community to provide a good Christmas for all of those kids in the community that maybe wouldn't have one if it weren't for Toys for Tots and the White Doves Project. So the for last year, for the 2017 Christmas season, there were over 14,335 toys distributed. That's 14,000 toys. It's amazing what our community can do. We had over 384 bikes that were provided. And that's, again, like I said, Kathy Stacy was out this morning. The bike delivery was coming in. So she had to, and you can't, when you got 300 or 400 bikes coming in, you got to be there and make sure everything gets taken care of. We had 2,700, a little over 2,700 children receive toys, almost 2,800. That's a huge number. There were 370 volunteers who gave time to wrap and package all the toys and get them out. Which equated to 2,500, almost 2,600 volunteer hours in doing this. That's that's over a year of manpower provided to get all these things ready to go. There were over 1,140 families served, and along the same process, besides just the toys and all of the things that are done with the toys, there were also dinners given out. You could get a Christmas dinner, and there were 43,800 pounds of food distributed.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot of food. 43,825 pounds of food, 14,335 toys that were distributed through the White Doves Project and Toys for Tots. So, when you're looking out there and you're looking for something to do, maybe you don't have, family nearby and you want to do something. First of all, you can volunteer, and you can call Kathy Stacy at United Way and Martin Volunteers, and she can give you some times and some things that you can help with. And that's a big help. Just managing all of this process. It's a tremendous effort. But also, if you want to contribute, there's still the opportunity to contribute to the cause, to contribute dollars or toys and things for these kids. And one of the things that I know that the question comes up a lot of times as well, how do you know that the kids are deserving? How do you know that that these are going to kids who haven't already gotten some toys from someplace else? And kids are getting double or triple toys or whatever, and because that can be a problem, frankly. If the nonprofit agencies don't coordinate the effort between the schools and some of the nonprofit agencies and the others that are out there and doing this, you could have a situation where one family receives 3 times the number of toys and one family receives none because they didn't realize that and they got missed somehow. And there are tremendous amounts of groups out there that may only be on one list. But there are also, or if it weren't coordinated, might not be on any list. And then there are some kids that, through the school systems and others, that they might have, they might be on multiple lists if it weren't for the fact that they're coordinated. And the United Way does coordinate. They coordinate with the school system. They coordinate with other agencies to make sure that that everybody's getting something, that they try to serve as many as they can, and that they're getting appropriate gifts for the ages of the kids that are involved, and that one family's not getting a whole bunch and somebody else is getting none, or one family's getting inappropriate age group gifts and the other group doesn't get any that are for their age group. So that process alone is really, really time consuming and very successful because it does allow us to get good coverage. And I know working with other agencies, like Kiwanis and the school system and others, the Key Clubs and the K Kids and all of those, the Builders Clubs, where they do some gift giving type things or get out and do some of these activities. That those type of things are always coordinated. I know the Kiwanis Club of Stewart, they have a program where they do some things with giving out clothes and things like, not toys, but clothes and other things for Christmas. And they coordinate to make sure that they've got their lists and they've got the kids' sizes and ages for, appropriate sizes and age. And they have the kids come in and they actually go into the store with them and help them purchase items that are appropriate. And so it is a great thing. And there's, when I think about it myself, many of us here in Martin County are fortunate that, we're well enough off that we can afford the Christmas gifts and we can buy for our grandkids and we can do all of the things that we want to do because we have the resources to do it. But we're also need to be aware that there are many, many, many people in the community who don't have those resources. We have, unfortunately, as many of you know, we live in a very expensive community. Many people can barely afford housing here. They can't, they between their housing bills and their normal food bills and regular clothing bills, they can't, they don't have that extra money. They're barely getting through. And if it weren't for programs like this, you wouldn't have the opportunity. They wouldn't have the opportunity to have Christmas, and Christmas from a gift giving standpoint. Of course, we all have an opportunity to have the real reason that Christmas is there, but at least these kids would miss out, and that's a shame, And yeah, I think to me the whole White Doves program, Toys for Tots, with WPSL up in Port St. Lucie, they got the Christmas Kids,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big program up there that takes care of a lot of kids. And I don't have Greg here, so I don't know the numbers now, but Greg or Carol, but it's huge amounts of gifts that they give away up there too. And
I think it's 1,000 kids every year.
yeah,
I think.
yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of kids. I mean, it's it's only a portion. I mean, I'm sure that there's there are thousands more. I mean, with what we have here, we had 2,767 kids. So that's a lot of kids, and I know there's others out there. There's probably other, that can't be reached or aren't being reached because we don't have enough resources. Um, but the other thing that's interesting, and I know Christmas kids, they do that the same thing, is that they find age appropriate gifts and try to do something there, and they try to make sure that they're not all the same thing. Now, one of the things I'll put in a plug for Toys for Tots and White Doves, and for also for Christmas kids, is almost always the older kids are the ones that need help the most, because first of all, the gifts are more expensive. As you get into your tweens and the teens, those gifts are more electronics and things like that just cost more money, and so it's that's difficult in itself. And so if you're looking to participate and you can afford to do that, if you can give a gift that would be appropriate for a boy or girl, of 10, 11, 12 and up, that's an area that they always need help with. You tend to get a ton of soccer balls, a ton of basketballs, a ton of footballs, and all those kind of things. But if there's things that you can afford to do for those kids, then that's great too. See and look and see if you give Kathy a call at United Way, she'll be happy to to give you some ideas if you're looking to do stuff, or even just contribute some money and tell them what you want it to go for. That I'm sure they can help with that too. It'll go to a good cause. And so I know, I love Christmas. I think it's a great time of the year. People's, you can see the good in people. Unfortunately, it's a tough time of the year for many. Believe it or not, a lot of people experience a tremendous amount of depression at this time of the year, because of some of the things that are going on, all of the stuff that's happening, and the day-to-day pressures. But it's a great time of the year, and when you get a program like this with White Doves and Christmas Kids, it's tremendous effort by the community, and to see those kids, it's like going to the parade and watching the Christmas parade, which, by the way, will be coming up a couple weeks from now.
Next Friday.
Yeah, not this Friday, but the Friday after.
Right, December 7th.
Yeah, it's always the first. It's always the first Friday in December, unless that falls on the first. I didn't know that until it fell on the first. Yeah, for some reason or another, if the first Friday in December is the first, they don't have it on the first.
Huh.
I don't think. I think that's the way it works. They don't do it that way. But but the Stewart Christmas Parade will be basically a week from this Friday.
Yep.
And and that's always fun to go down there and see that going on. And if there's anybody out there that wants to get together with me and raise a little money, I think our Christmas parade needs I think we need a balloon. I think we need some sort of a balloon for our parade,
like a Macy's balloon coming down.
I think we need that.
Like a sailfish?
I was thinking Sammy Sailfish. We should get a big balloon done of Sammy Sailfish, and then that could be part of our Christmas parade every year. Now, it's probably about an $80,000 balloon, but can you imagine how many Christmas parades have a balloon in them other than Macy's?
That'd be great. You'd have to have lights all around it, or just people shining spotlights on it nonstop going out, because the Stewart parades at night.
Yeah.
So you can get all the holiday lights.
Yeah.
Be great.
And then we'll put little kids holding the rope, so they'll be floating along. You can just watch them. Their feet will be dangling. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But no, I think that would be so cool. It would be kind of neat. I always like Stewart to have unusual things. That's the kind of little things that you could do. I mean, think about how much publicity the city of Stewart could get if they had Sammy the Sailfish, a balloon of Sammy the Sailfish that they could put in their parade. Now, that would get attention all over the United States, probably.
Now, would he lead the parade or probably, right?
No, I think he comes in right. I think he comes in right before Santa.
Right, because Santa has to be the last.
Right. So he comes in right before Santa. I mean, you see Sammy Sailfish.
Is he pulling Santa's sleigh?
Well, he would be in front of it. Yeah, he would be kind of leading the charge, so to speak. And then you'd know when Santa was coming. You could see from blocks away. Oh, there's Santa's coming because there's Sammy. And so you would know exactly when Sammy was going to be coming down. So the speaking of things that are going on from a Christmas standpoint, we did have the tree lighting ceremony last Friday.
Tree looks great.
You know that the VNA donated. You know, ever since we had Riverwalk, one of the Riverwalk stage, everybody was saying, you know, that circle down there would be the perfect place for a tree.
Yeah,
and frankly, cost-wise, the city couldn't afford or didn't feel like they had the money at the time to buy a regular tree. So we had a light tree. I don't know if you remember what we had down there. You couldn't really. I mean, it was good, and it was large. You know, it was a tall tree, but it wasn't very.
Is it the one that's not Confusion Corner now?
No, I know it was kind of just like. It was a tree that was etched out by lights. You know, it wasn't a regular tree.
Okay.
The one down by Duffy's down there is the one that was down there. It's always been there. It's been the regular tree. And then at Riverwalk, there was a big light fake tree.
Okay.
You know, it was one of those trees that's made out of lights, but it's.
Well, that's what I thought I saw that at Confusion Corner with like blue lights coming up to the top to make the tree.
Oh yeah, maybe it is. Maybe they did move it there. Yeah, yep, you're right. I think that's where it's at now. I was thinking down at Haney Circle, but yeah, you're talking.
No, I'm talking. Yeah,
yes,
down.
Yeah. That's where they put it now. And so, so they got this. The VNA had a 35-foot tree that they donated. Now we're getting really close. I wanted to try to beat the National Enquirer's tree. If anybody's ever been down to Lantana, have you ever been down there?
No.
When I don't know if they still do it. They used to do it years ago. National Enquirer was down in Lantana, right near the railroad tracks down there, basically, and between Lantana Road and Hypaluxo Road, on US 1. Anyway, they would have this big thing every year, and they brought in on the train tracks. That's why it says near the train tracks, a live tree, and it was at least 80 feet tall. You know, it was just like 75, 80 foot. It's like the tree at the White House, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge, and they had these huge ornaments, you know, these big ornaments and all these lights all over it. And then they had this little village where they had all these trains, and they had, I think Santa was there, and they had toys, and they had setups of all kinds of Christmas stuff, you know, and it was really pretty cool. I don't care what you thought about National Enquirer. That was cool. And so, the
was Bat Boy on the top of the tree?
It probably should have been, but in those days it was before that.
Oh, okay.
So I remember when we took our kids to that was how cool that was, right? So I always wanted to get a big tree for down there, and the VNA had a tree, and they donated it to us for our use there. So you'll see the VNA sign. That's how we have it, is thanks to the VNA, and we appreciate that. So we've got a 35-foot tree downtown now by the Riverwalk stage, and it is really, really cool.
It's gorgeous, and I was sad that I wasn't able to be here Friday night for the lighting ceremony, but I kind of I knew it was going on. I was out of town for Thanksgiving. But Monday night, I was coming back into downtown Stewart, and I turned down Joan Jefferson, and I forgot about the Christmas tree. And I come around the traffic circle with the Sailfish here and go in across the railroad tracks, and boom, you just see this big, beautiful tree, and it's all lit up, and it was gorgeous. And then I thought downtown Stewart looked great.
It's cool, and I'll tell you what, you know, it's a work in progress, and I like what they're doing down there. But so this tree was the start of really pretty cool, 35 feet. And so what they're also going to do, and And I think next year, just for the reason you're talking about, the tree lighting ceremony has always been the Friday after Thanksgiving. And I tell you, that has gotten to be such an active day. Otherwise, between the Black Friday stuff and all of the things happen, I think next year they're going to do it the Friday before. I think they're going to try to get it done,
before Thanksgiving.
I think they're going to try to do it before Thanksgiving because too many people are out of town, over that holiday.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people. Some of the people from up north aren't here yet, and so
maybe also Small Business Saturday. Support the small businesses in downtown Stewart.
Yeah. And they thought about doing that too. That's that's another effort that they're looking at. But what's going on this year, which is kind of neat, is that ACOC is or whatever they're calling it, but ACOC Funeral Home, we all know them as that. They are Ginger Eha, who's on Stewart Main Street. She and ACOC have stepped forward, and they're actually going to do some activities on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think there'll be some music at the tree at night to encourage people to come down. On the let me think, on the Saturday, the 1st, 8th, 15th, and 20 and the 21st, 22nd. I'm sorry.
If it's Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday. That time is different, so that's why I was hesitating. But it's the 1st, 8th, 15th, and 22nd on at downtown. Between 3 and 5 on the 1st, 8th, and 15th, Santa will be down there next to the tree. We're trying to get his sleigh, but it may be in for repairs. So he may just be there in his chair, but kids will be able to come down. They'll be able to get a picture for free with Santa. You can bring your cell phone, take a picture with Santa. Santa can, the kids can talk to Santa and ask for, whatever they want for Christmas. And then they'll get a candy cane or a little thing to go and some hot chocolate. There'll be a little bit of hot chocolate there. Nice. From Stewart Coffee is going to provide some hot chocolate while it lasts. I think we've got enough for about each time we've got enough for probably about I think they're 4-ounce cups. We got enough for about 100 kids or something like that. So 50 to 100 kids or somewhere in that range. So they'll be there. But so we're doing that, and it's good hot chocolate. It's top quality stuff. So that is going to be there. And then on the 22nd, between it's 4:30 to 6:30 on the 22nd. It's just a little later in the afternoon on the 22nd.
Well,
and then
you'll get to experience it at night.
Yes.
With the lights.
Yeah. There'll be a little bit more there. And then also on, I think it's the 25th.
Christmas Day.
No, I'm sorry. That's right. I was thinking of last Friday, but no, it's not that. It was, let me check and see if it might be the 22nd again. It might still be on that same Saturday. I think that, let me see if I got it here. Okay. The 20th. I'm sorry. It's on the 20th, which is a Thursday, I believe, right?
Yes.
All right. On that night, because remember I said that ACOC is having programs going on. So, like I said, Santa's going to be there December 1st, 15th, and 22nd. I'm sorry, he'll be there December 1st, 15th, and 22nd from 3 to 5. And the 8th, he'll be there from 4:30 to 6:30. And then Daryl McGill is singing on 12/5, which again is a Thursday, I believe. And then 12/6 and 12/13 is there's a father-daughter combo that are going to be singing and doing some Christmas carols. And then on the 20th, there will be carolers downtown on the 20th, and those carolers will be, of course, walking around singing Christmas carols. They will be dressed up in the old-fashioned Christmas carol type stuff.
What, like Lewis C. Carroll?
Yeah, those kind of things.
Nice.
And and we'll also have hot chocolate for the people that are coming down to see the carolers on that.
Can I be the dirty chimney sweep?
You can be whatever you want.
Excellent.
But yeah, if you dress up and go, you can come and help out. So it's I forgot which church it is, but it's one of the churches that's going to provide the carolers, and they're going to come down. They're going to do a little costume period type
Cool.
stuff for the old time caroler type stuff. So it should be kind of fun. I mean, it'll be like a real, kind of an up north Christmas. Hopefully we'll have a nice cold day like today, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll have a good time with it. And so that's something that, and of course, our firm is helping to sponsor some of that as well. So I guess I got to get a plug in there, since people will get mad if I don't at least get some advertising out of it. But anyway, but it really is just for fun. We're having a good time, and I love those kind of things. And it should be a great time down there, and to see what's going on in the lights. And the new street project, the lights that they put up downtown for the street project and the crossing is really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this time of the year, everything looks really good, and it's all lit up. But I know one of the things that has been talked about, Main Street was trying to figure out how to raise enough money to do it, but is to try to get the shop owners downtown and or the property owners, and to put up lights, string it across the street, so that you'd have them hanging across the street like a canopy type thing, and also down, and then have those coordinated to music, which that's the costly portion of it. You probably, to get the technology and the computer equipment that it takes to be able to run that type of thing, so that the lights are coordinated with the music, is probably, $20,000 or something. I think 15 or somewhere in that range. But that's another big goal, is ultimately what we'd like to do is get all of the historic downtown on Osceola Street lit with lights across the street, and down the most of the shops do some things anyway, but then coordinate all of that so that as you're walking down there, you'd hear Christmas music, and you could hear, and the lights would be twinkling to the music. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of things going on this time of year, and a lot of activities. And so it's an opportunity with Thanksgiving to give thanks. And then of course with Christmas to give thanks, for all of the things that we have. And the nonprofit community here really does, get involved and does give back. And we've got, coming up on December 1st. Well, first of all, it's already started, is the Tykes and Teens has their Christmas, their festival of trees, down in the Flagler place. And there's all kinds of trees that you can go in and make a contribution and put your little tickets in, and have an opportunity to win. Many of the trees have all kinds of gifts on them. They're worth way more than you would ever pay for them. Some of them I think will be auctioned off. They do auction some of them directly in a live auction type thing, and then the rest of them are done through a kind of a silent auction, I think, is how they do that. And they raise a lot of their money for, as many people know, because we've had the Tykes and Teens on here. They're one of the groups that's actively out there helping young people, working with kids, especially the tweens, in mental health issues, and helping to get them through that period of time. We have high rates of children suicide in the area and that type of thing, and we have large groups of people that are dealing with with issues at that age that need attention. And Tykes and Teens, they do a tremendous amount of work there, and a lot of what they do, a lot of their funding too comes from this program. A lot of the money that they have, the discretionary funding that they have to make things happen, come from this program. So they got the Festival of Trees, and that's really neat. You can go down there and look at those and see all the different things. I know Kiwanis, we've got a tree in again this year, and there's a bunch of other organizations that typically have really cool things. There was a tree in there last year that along with the tree, it was kind of a coastal theme. So along with the tree, you got a surfboard, I think it was, or it may have even been a windsurfing board and an outfit and all that kind of stuff. But it was big. I mean, it was probably worth $1,000 or something, $800 or somewhere in that range, just for that item.
Wow.
So you get a tree and you get a lot of stuff under. There was a tree last year. I forget who had it in there. It had. I'll bet you there had to have been at least $3,000 worth of gift cards on the tree for various places, not discount coupons, actual cash gift cards.
Nice.
Cool. So anyway, so if you haven't done that, go down there and stroll through, take a look, maybe buy a few and put a few tickets in and take a chance at winning. There's a lot of great trees, and many of you here maybe you think, oh, my family's up north, or I'm not going to go to the trouble. Well, here's an opportunity to go and get a tree and bid on it, and it's already decorated. You don't have to do anything other than set it up. So it's pretty neat. They, I think December 1st is when they stop. When it's finished. I think that's the last day. December 1st is the day that. December 1st is the day that we also we have breakfast with Santa. And so I've sponsored that the last few years, and is sponsoring that again. It's a freebie. The kids get to come down. They get to have a free breakfast. There's some pancakes and things like that, which is fantastic with Santa's beard. You just get some, and so Mrs. Claus will help clean you up. But yeah, and again, it's an opportunity to get a free picture. You can get, and I tell you, I know, and there's probably some kids listening, but a lot of times you'll see Santa's helpers at a lot of these places. The mall, it's a Santa's helper, and you can tell because they're charging. But at this, the Tykes and Teens have the real Santa Claus. That's why it has to be December 1st, because he really doesn't have a lot of time, and so he makes time strictly for Tykes and Teens on this breakfast, and it's early in the morning. It's breakfast, it's 8:00 or whatever. So because Santa usually sleeps in a little bit because he's got a lot of stuff to do. He kind of works late into the night a lot of times. So he's a night person. I don't know if you knew that, but Santa is a night person. He's not really a morning person. He's like, he'll work all night long, but he kind of isn't an early riser sometimes.
Yeah.
So he made time out of his day. So just so if you kids are out there, you're thinking, I'm not sure that guy out in the mall or at Bass Pro Shop is the real Santa. He might not be, but they do tell Santa. They do let Santa know, and they do pass that information along. But this Santa is the real Santa. So you get a chance to talk to him directly. I have a phone that contacts him directly.
Oh,
but this is, but I have a hard time getting through because most of the time I get the reindeer, area, or I get the kitchen. I did get to talk to Mrs. Claus the other day. That was pretty cool. Occasionally I get through to Santa, but he's so busy most of the time I have to leave a message. But this will be the real guy. So just and Mrs. Claus is there too. So she'll be there, and there'll be some, like I said, there'll be breakfast and there'll be pictures, and it's a lot of fun, and it's all free. So
now I want pancakes.
I know, right? So it should be fun. It was fun last year, and we appreciate everybody that participates and gets involved. So those are some of the things that just generally are going on, but there's all kinds of activities taking place. As there's a lot of things happening this time of the year. I just was talking about a few of the things that are going on now, and that you might want to take some time out of your day to look at. But I think that with what ACOC is doing it and VNA providing this tree, kind of gets everybody pumped up, and it's an opportunity to get and do some activities, and so it's going to be really fun. I want to thank ACOC. I want to thank Stuart Coffee for helping us out, and I wanted to so if you really need some hot chocolate before that, Stewart Coffee is the place to go. They actually make the hot chocolate at Stewart Coffee. When you go in there, they make it with real milk. It's actually the real stuff.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Now I think for the tree stuff, because sometimes when you're making it with milk and in advance, it's a little harder to do all of that. This is the Ghirardelli's, so it's pretty good stuff, right? So we're not chincing on the hot chocolate. This is good, and there will be marshmallows. Trust me, there will be marshmallows.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. Appreciate those guys participating, and of course, Stewart Main Street. Many people don't realize some of the things that Stewart Main Street does behind the scenes, and this is just one of them. I mean, we've worked very hard to get that get that process going, and of course, we've always had Christmas on Main Street with the tree lighting, and we've expanded that. We've got the lights at both ends of the city, and now in Confusion Corner. The city, of course, is really active in that. And Milton and his people get all that stuff up, and we appreciate all the stuff they do and work they do, and all of the activities that take place. It's just amazing, how many people come together and work behind the scenes to get all of this stuff accomplished. And so if there's anything you think you want to participate in, you can contact me. You can contact anybody you can contact Thondra at the city. With Main Street, and she, if you want to make a contribution, help out, join Main Street, whatever, the membership is whatever you want to give, $10, $20, $50, whatever you can afford to give. You can be a member of Main Street. It is a nonprofit. It's a membership organization. And, we basically have to rely on donations and fundraising activities and support from the city to get a lot of things accomplished. But it's a great organization. It does a lot of hard work behind the scenes. And of course, along with that, DBA, which the Downtown Business Association, which also is very active and does, and they're the ones that are really doing a lot of these events and coordinating them all. It's the DBA that's working with ACOC and my firm and others to do some of these activities. They're coordinating that. They do this. They work on the Small Business Saturday program downtown. They help with a lot of the stroll activities, and I think the fall stroll, which has already taken place. I think next year the fall stroll is going to be a little closer to Thanksgiving. So just to kind of coordinate some of those activities a little better. But that's really, really a lot of fun too, that fall stroll. So all of those things, that's really Stewart Main Street and DBA working kind of behind the scenes to get it all done. And so if you're a business and you're downtown and you're not a member of DBA, please join that effort. They are looking out for you on not only some of these activities, but a lot of the behind the scenes things that you're not aware of, things that may be proposed that the city may be talking about that may not be good for business. And they have an opportunity and they weigh in and typically are able to get things done, whether it's parking enforcement or it's other issues relative to sanitation and collection of trash and all those kind of things to make the streets nicer and more accessible to all of the people. So again, want to thank all of the people there that do a tremendous job. And again, all of the DBA, but particularly I know Patty O'Connell at Gumbo Limbo does a tremendous job. Bill Moore at Kilwins does a tremendous job. So, if you have an opportunity, get into one of those places. Gumbo Limbo's got the Gumbo Limbo Kids. That's a great shop, by the way. If you're looking for something for your kids or grandkids for any time of the year, but especially for Christmas, they got a lot of stuff in there. And but if you do get a chance and you're strolling downtown, you just walk in, and if Patty's there, make sure you tell her how much you appreciate all the work she does. And same thing with Bill Moore at Kilwins. He does a great job there, and you stop in and let them know how much you appreciate it. So, and of course, as I said before, Stewart Coffee, Foster and Rosalind, they are the new owners at Stewart Coffee. They work very hard and have been very supportive of the community. So I know they always appreciate it if they're not looking for a lot, but it's always nice if you just stop in occasionally and tell them thanks for all the stuff they do, because they work very hard for it. Other than that, we have, of course, a lot of the other activities that are taking place at Christmas time, and different things that are going on. There's pretty much something happening every weekend. There's some fundraisers going on, a lot of party activities where there's some money being raised, and those are all good programs. A lot of organizations, this is the start of their fundraising. It's an opportunity for them to start raising money, and any of us that are in the nonprofit community know that this time of the year is where we start getting most of our volunteers to help. It's also where more of our fundraising takes place, because there's many, many, many more people. I think, and I don't, this is just off the cuff, but at one point I know there was like 100,000 people here on a regular basis, and then it expands to 300,000, I think, during season, and then back down to 100. So, it's a big opportunity when we've got a couple 100,000 people more during season to help out and to provide some of those resources. And many of those people that are here, we kid about all the time about the snowbirds and all of the things about that, but they're instrumental in a lot of the things that happen in our community. And it's funny, I was at a economic council meeting the other day, and we were talking about a program, an educational program. I think it's called Stride Together or something like that is the name of the program. And it's actually a national program, and it's a joint program among the churches, the business community, the schools, government, but mostly, it's a coordination of charities and private activities, all geared towards education, and basically it's geared towards kind of cradle to graduation is what it is. It's a program to try to coordinate the activity so that things don't get out of kilter. Sometimes certain areas get missed, and there may be resources, but those resources are in an area where maybe they're not needed as much because there's more resources there, and there's no resources in this other area. For example, job training or something like that kids may need to get in high school so that they can continue on and go into a trade or something. And so that program, we were talking about that program, and trying to, we're trying to get that program instituted. The Economic Council is working on that as an activity going forward. And Bill West from Molly's House has been, who's our president this year of the Economic Council, been working on this program. And we're really excited about it because it's education oriented. It's great for at-risk youth and all kinds of things. But it turns out that I think the guy that was involved in starting the thing in New York lives in Hope Sound. So they ran it, I guess, and he contacted it, and then so I think he's going to provide some advice and some things. But I mean, he was the one that put the program. And that may have been the original program, but it was at least one of the early programs. And he lives right here in our community. He's kind of probably a part-time resident, a snowbird, but that's what I'm saying. We have a lot of people who have been actively involved over the years in a lot of things up north, and including starting things up north. And then we're trying to do that down here, and they've been big resources to help out, and that's a tremendous thing, and that's true with United Way. I mean, a lot of the people, we have difficulty at United Way in a little bit of difficulty in raising money in the traditional manner. United Way is a corporate, largely is a program that was geared towards giving through corporate. It's individual giving, but through corporate sponsorship, basically. So, as many of you know that we're up north, you sign up and you agree to give $5 a week or $10 a week or whatever it is over the year out of your paycheck, and your employer would collect that money and send it to United Way, and that was your program. You would pledge to give a certain amount. You would have it taken out of your pay, and it would be provided and it'd be sent to United Way, and with all of the businesses in all of the cities up north, the major employers, there were thousands of employees, and so you would have drives and campaigns within the business to have 100% participation. And so, so you get a big business like that. But here we don't have as many big businesses. A lot of our businesses are individually owned. They're sole proprietors or smaller shops or smaller owners, and they don't have big payrolls, and they don't have. So it's hard to do a coordinated large campaign. You can do it with Florida Power and Light. They're always very, very active in participating in United Way, Publix, and the schools and a lot of the big organizations, government and that kind of thing. They all tend to participate in these things. And then, like I say, there's many of our large employers in the area do participate, but it's not like we have that tons and tons of them. So what we have, though, are a lot of individual donors, and sometimes they forget about United Way, and they kind of just say, well, they get involved in a charity. But now's a good time to commit to United Way. Make a contribution. They will use it for all kinds of things, including white doves, and they'll use it for a lot of their volunteer programs, and they'll use it for all of these things. They support a number of activities. There's a number of grants they give this year that help all year round with things like Tykes and Teens and Helping People Succeed and ARC and all of those organizations that need money to make the significant contribution to the community that they make. And it's a big deal. And so you can help out even if you're a snowbird. Don't forget our local United Way here, and all of the good things that they would do for the area. They're a good steward of your money all year round, not just while you're here, but off season as well. So anyway, that's what's going on. Some of the things that are happening. Next week we'll have a little bit of an update on some of the activities that are taking place. I think I'll be here next week. I've got a program with the state coming up that I may have to miss. But regardless, at some point on a Wednesday, we'll be here talking about some of the things that are happening in our community that make it great. And so I want to thank all of those people who work behind the scenes to make that happen. You are appreciated, and all year round you're appreciated. And definitely we appreciate you right here on WSTU Digital 1450, because we are Martin County's Heritage Station.